Okay, so clearly you have a very diverse background in entertainment. You're a scriptwriter, director, producer, an actor for film and television. You're a stand-up comedian, and you've written a book. So that's a lot of roles. So I'm wondering, which one is your favorite, and which one do you most identify with?
I prefer to write and perform, because that's the most instant, I think, because I can just, if I write something, I could go and do stand-up or try and make my own show and do it, and then I know if it works or not.
Stand-up is one of the things you're known for, and a lot of people think that stand-ups just make up what they're saying on stage as they go. But, you know, my guess is that there's really a lot more rehearsal and scripting ahead of time. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I always write things out. I try to write a few notes down just to be prepared. And I still forget anyway, but I try, you know, to get things together first.
Do you have any tricks for sort of thinking, okay, I'm going to get in a creative mood now? Do you have any other, any tricks?
I do a line of Coke as long as the desk. And, hey, kids. No, I don't. I don't know. I really, no, I just kind of get ideas from the news, really, online, and I start looking, you know, and I think of, and past relationships, you know, I guess. I draw from a lot of personal things.
If you could go back, are there any things that you would do differently?
Oh man, this would, everybody will have to get their sleeping bag out. I would do everything differently, every single damn thing. I feel like I always kind of plunge into things and then go back and do things the right way. You know, if you're planning on writing, you have to have a spec script. You probably have heard that. So if you want to write for TV, you have to find a show that you like, a half-hour show, and write a sample episode. And then and that's how you get an agent. And the same with a screenplay. I did that. I didn't do that at all. I did stand-up. I started out as a stand-up. And then I was fired from my first job. I was to play Tom Arnold's wife on a sitcom. And I was pretty young then, and I'd never acted before I was, like, you know, 21. And I also didn't know how to cook. And they were trying to get me to do all these things as a wife of 5 kids. And the director said, look in the oven and check the roast. And I'd never cooked anything. And in my apartment in New York, my shoes were in the oven because there was no room for anything in my apartment. So it was just really foreign to me. So I looked in the oven and I said, yeah, it looks okay. And he said, get a fork and check the roast. How can you not know how to cook or even do the simplest thing? And so anyway, I got fired. But then from that, they said, well, what do you want to do? We could give you a smaller part, but you're not ready for this. And I said I wanted to write on the Roseanne show, and that's how I got a writing job. But had I planned while I was doing stand-up and started writing episodes just to do the homework of it, I could have just, you know, went like to script supervisor. I could have gone like higher up the ladder instead of just being on a staff.
As a professional script writer, you probably have to continue creating the stories which attract many audiences. So when you think about the next stories, what kind of things is most important for you to create a new and attractive story which attract the more audiences?
I think it's too hard to think about who it would please or what would attract audiences. I mean, if I wanted to just you know, come up with a movie to attract audiences, it would, you know, be, you know, a bunch of, you know, naked women in a wheelbarrow or something. You know, it's not like I can't even think that way. So I guess it has to, I would like it to be, you know, a pro-woman message and something, you know, that, I guess, things that make me laugh, things that I care about.
What advice would you give to someone that, you know, has a great idea for a script or a project? How do you move forward?
First of all, write it out and get it copywritten, because you never know who might, you know, you think you're telling someone, a friend or someone, a story, then the next thing they're writing it. So, I mean, I hate to be paranoid that way, but you should write out your idea, get it copywritten, and you can do that, you know, just by sending it to yourself, writing it out, sending it to yourself. And then, I mean, I think it's hard to pitch an idea to get started. I think you have to write the script, you know, go online, look at all these, you know, different script formats and different, you know, there's so many books on it, you know, and if you just follow each thing and do what they say. And that's really hard because that's like homework. you know, but I've done that. Say, okay, page 25 is a turning point, page 50. And if you do it like that, it's tedious, but it works. And then you can present something to an agent. And I think that's the best way to go. Because if you just tell someone, hey, I've got a great idea, it just gets kind of, you know, lost in the shuffle. And you have to be telling the right person, and that's not easy. It's better to have an agent first.